All hope isn't lost. Not all the memories have gone.
Todoroki felt that attending social events was a given in any situation, and didn't mind that UA decided to hold a dance to ease the minds of students throughout these troubling times. Despite many potential partners asking him to be his date for the event, Todoroki politely declined, having decided to go on his own and enjoy an evening with his friends instead. In fact, he knew the person he wanted to enjoy the evening with had already been taken by someone else. While on his way towards the auditorium to meet with his classmates, Todoroki could hear the deep beat of the music reverberate around him. However, the closer he reached the auditorium, the sooner he heard voices screaming at each other. Todoroki followed the sounds, spotting two figures just outside of the auditorium, their voices crying out at each other away from any line of sight from inside the building. It wasn't until his eyes fell on you, with one of your wrists clutched by your date's hands, that caught his attention immediately. You struggled against their grip, the both of you in the middle of a heated argument. Todoroki sped his pace towards you, your voice carried over the music, as he could hear your words clearly.
"Let go of me!"
You hollered at your date, their look of disgust staring down at you in a slightly drunken stupor. With your free hand, you slapped your date hard. They turned back on you, raising their own free hand to return the favor, until another gripped their wrist. Todoroki stood beside you, his grip tightening on your date's wrists as he stared at him with a disapproving look.
I suggest you walk away,
he warned. Fractals of ice began to form on his fingertips, dusting their wrist with frost before your date pulled their hands away from Todoroki and yourself. With a contempt scoff, they fixed their formal wear before they walked towards the auditorium. Todoroki kept an eye on them as they did so until they rounded the corner and disappeared from his sight.
Are you alright?
He asked, turning back to you. I'm sorry you had to see that, you apologized, your eyes downcast and refusing to meet his. It's shameful. On closer inspection, Todoroki noticed tears running down your cheek. You had been crying for a while during that whole debacle, and despite Todoroki seeing the tears, you didn't want to see the look in his eyes. You felt he didn't deserve to see you like this, to see you weak and vulnerable because of something so ridiculous in your mind.
Did they hurt you?
He continued, trying to understand the situation. You shook your head, holding your body within your arms as if it would help shield you. Not physically. They just dumped me right at the auditorium doors. Todoroki turned towards the auditorium building, seeing the lights inside and listening to the beat of the music through the concrete walls. He could hear the laughter and the cacophony of voices from fellow classmates echo around before he turned to you, still shielding yourself.
I could accompany you back inside if you want,
he suggested before you shook your head. I don't want to go back inside. Not yet. Not when that happened. Todoroki watched as you clenched your lips, attempting to stop any more tears from falling, and clutched your frame to stop you from shaking out of anger, embarrassment, and sadness. He then outstretched an open hand to you, his smile warm and inviting. Your eyes trailed from the floor to his hand, seeing that he also curtly bowed.
Then, may I have this dance?
He asked, his eyes now connected with yours. Wiping away the little tears that had crept to your eyes, you timidly gave your hand in his as he gently pulled you in, holding on to you as you both began dancing. Todoroki listened to the beat of the music and expertly led you into a waltz, keeping in time despite the songs not being traditionally in time with such a dance. With no one around, it truly felt like both of you were alone in your own world, enjoying the company of each other. "Thank you," you spoke as you continued to follow Todoroki's lead. He twirled you around before you returned back into him, his face close to yours with his gentle smile on display.
"Anytime,"
he answered.
"This is exactly where you should be. You look stunning tonight."
Surprised, you looked up at Todoroki, who still held that gentle smile, and swayed with you to a now slower song that played from inside the auditorium.
"You deserve a good night."
A smile appeared on your lips from his words before you laid your head on his chest, his arms wrapped around you as you both continued to sway together. After a while, Todoroki convinced you to enter the auditorium, but this time arm in arm with him. Joining in with the rest of your classmates, Todoroki kept a hold of you throughout the night, leading you to places whenever you asked until you felt comfortable on your own for him to fetch punch for the both of you. The rest of the night went without a hitch, as Todoroki took you out to the dance floor once to enjoy a true school dance experience. While swaying now amongst your fellow classmates, you looked up at Todoroki, your smile still ever present. "I actually preferred us dancing outside," you mused, catching Todoroki's curiosity. "Just the two of us."
"It's still the two of us here, except,"
began Todoroki as his movements began to slow.
"I can ask you without making you feel uncomfortable alone."
His words caught your curiosity before you felt his hands close in around you.
"May I kiss you?"
You felt a heat rise to your cheeks and a fire in the pit of your stomach, and you knew it wasn't coming from Todoroki. The music seemed like it drowned in your ears, and all you could think of was his question. Your hands lightly clenched on his dress shirt before a timid smile curled on your lips. You nodded, looking up into his eyes before his lips closed in on yours. Engulfed in the crowd of students on the dance floor, the world seemed to disappear for a moment before he pulled away.
"Thank you."
"Anytime." You smiled as you leaned your forehead against his, feeling his breath and his warmth throughout the night.